Paul Browne here for SevereMMA. I'm at the Bellator Champion Series in London, and I'm joined by Paul Hughes.
What's
How are
up,
you,
my
man?
brother? How are we doing? Good.
Big fights ahead of us tonight here in London, of course, but the big news, pardon the pun, going around this week is that your fight with AJ McKee has been confirmed for October 19th in Saudi Arabia. How good does it feel to have that publicly known now that it's actually happening and you can look forward to the fight?
Feels good. It's good to have it finally out there. You know, I've probably known close enough to 2 months about this fight that it's actually been signed and like ready. So pure excitement right now, you know, to get it out just a couple of days ago. Kind of, you flip a little switch whenever it gets out there in the public, so it's good.
Yeah, and obviously we talked about this fight before, and it is a massive fight for you. There's been some very big landmark occasions in your career over the past couple of years. The most recent one, of course, being that Bellator debut against Bobby King. Now, we spoke in the immediate aftermath of that fight, but give us your thoughts on the fight and the performance now that you're a little bit of time removed from it.
So initially, after the fight had just ended, I was on top of the cage and I was saying, wasn't as clean, like that'll never happen again. And yes, I got into a bit of a scrap, but I also did say before the fight that, you know, I'm going to put a scrap on for everybody just for pure entertainment, because it was my debut for PFL Bellator. I wanted to put on a show for the fans, co-main event. People have been travelling to watch me. Kind of thought I'll throw down a little bit, you know, give a showing, and that's what I done. Like, initial thought, it's not as bad as I initially thought. The performance, it actually was a very good performance, other than getting clipped in the first round. But yeah, looking back on it, I've made the reads, and you know I'll have to make the reads against AJ. So I'm content right now, and very much looking forward to the next one.
And obviously AJ McKee is a level above any fighters you've been in there with before. But these are the fights that you've been crying out for. I talked to Dan Hardy yesterday, and he said that you've been banging on everybody's door looking for those biggest fights. So talk to me about how you feel about this matchup and you know, that step up in competition.
As I said, pure excitement. This is what I came, when I was signed into the PFL, I knew this was going to be the correct decision. You know, when I came here, I said, I want to fight the best guys. I want to put on the most entertaining fights. I want to get paid. And that's exactly what's happening. And that's being given this opportunity now against AJ is just an opportunity for me to prove exactly what I've been saying and what I've been calling for. I've been saying for about 12 months that I'm one of the best on the planet. Now I get the chance to prove it against one of the best on the planet.
Yeah, and he has been universally regarded as one of the best on the planet. Like yourself, only beaten once. He's been around that bit longer, and he's had a lot more fights, obviously, at the highest level. So this is a massive, massive opportunity for you to come in and maybe take some of that shine off him. 100%.
100%. This is my time. Excuse the pun, I know I say that a lot, but this is truly my time now to just show and to just back up my words.
Brilliant, yeah, and the fight itself is amazing, but the occasion that it's taking place on, the pay-per-view card in Saudi Arabia, what a massive opportunity to get under the lights on the main card and in front of all of those eyes.
Yeah, it's a huge event, and when I signed here with PFL, I knew that they had big events planned. And like, PFL are gonna do some incredible shows. This is gonna be their first like big show, and I knew when I was coming here that a fighter like myself, who's always entertaining, that can talk, that is willing to fight the best guys, is going to be on these cards and in high positions, and that's where I am. So everything that I kind of expected to happen with this signing has now happened, plus more. So I'm absolutely over the moon. To do it on this big stage with an Ngannou pay-per-view is massive, you know. I actually, other than the main co-main event, I'm sure PFL are going to put on incredible fights, but I can't see any other fight being as entertaining as this one. Because on paper you've got, you know, it looks like there's a huge step up. Like, I'm keeping all the receipts. I'm seeing social media. I'm saying this is way too big a step up for Hughes. But like, it ain't. Maybe on paper it looks like, yeah, you got a 12-1 coming in at 22 against a 22-1. But look, like, I know my skill level. I've mixed it up with some of the best in the world. I wouldn't be calling myself the best in the world and calling out these best fighters if I didn't think I was close to them. I think I'm better than these guys, and now I get the chance to prove it.
And AJ McKee, of course, a lot of people will look at him, and he's so many submission wins on his record. No doubt he's effective and deadly on the mat, but he's far from a one-dimensional fighter.
100%. AJ, as I said, he's one of the best in the world. He's very dynamic, a super kind of awkward style, to be honest. A southpaw that's long range. He throws big long 1-2s, really good left body kick, really dangerous chokes. Like, he's an unbelievably dangerous fighter, you know, and I'm taking that all into accord, but so am I. You know, I can catch this guy with anything, and I will. I 100% will have him knocked out within 2 rounds.
a few years back you were involved in that peak of that Cage Warriors division where we had Morgan Charrier, Jordan Vucenic and James Hendon, all guys who provide stern tests, and we spoke about it after your last fight. I think it was just before your last fight, and you reminded me that you beat them all. Now, when you're fighting and you've got that circle of opponents around you, you've got endless matchups, and there was even rematches in there that are all going to challenge you at that level. I believe it made every single one of you improve greatly, and now you're in a position where you've got the likes of AJ McKee, Usman Nurmagomedov. We're going to see Mark Diakiese in action tonight, another high level lightweight. There's a little group gathering now in this promotion where there's test after test after test awaiting you, and surely that is going to excel every single one of you, or bring each of you onto that next level.
Yes, it 100% is, and it's a very good read that you made as well, because the Cage Warriors days, that kind of trifecta that was going on back then, that made me become the fighter that I became now, sitting in front of you. I had to up my game beyond anything else. I had to go to deeper levels, train harder, like than anything you could imagine in order to beat these guys. Because I knew when I was fighting the Hendon, it would be the Vichapas next. When I beat the Chapa, it would be the Vucenics next. And I went in there and I beat every single one of them, you know, in 5 round world title fights. So I'm a young veteran in this sport, you know. I've had the tests, I've been here before, and now I'm just here again, but at a higher level. Now I've got AJ McKee and Usman Nurmagomedov that I've got my eyes on. You've got Usman who's saying, oh, AJ's next after his fight last week, and you said his post-fight interview earlier. I didn't watch it because I turned it off because it was boring. Fans were booing. I didn't think it was. I think they're both great fighters and I have a lot of respect for them, but the fans were booing. That's the reality. They just didn't put on an exciting fight. And you know, when you're fighting these world title fights, these big events, big arenas, you got to be showing out. You know, this is what I do every single time. You watch any of my previous fights, it's pure entertainment. If it's a world title fight, it gets to the 4th or 5th round, the fans are screaming, I'm running at my opponent, it's 30 seconds left, I'm emptying the tank. That's what I'm going to bring to the table here. So whenever I knock out AJ, you know who I'm calling for next.
And obviously then Usman was calling for AJ McKee, as you mentioned. You get through him, and you know Usman has that belt. The global tournament, which you're going to be a part of, doesn't start until a few months into 2025. So, do you think there's a window there for B to maybe go and nab another belt on the way to that?
100%, absolutely. Well, look, I'm down to do whatever the PFL want to do. I think I'm showing them what I'm all about by taking this AJ fight, by the performance I put on in Dublin, and then also what I'm going to do against AJ. Like, they sent me the contract. It was yes, sign it right away. You know. I think I'm showing PFL what I'm about, and whatever they want to do with me, I'm down for. So if I have the opportunity, if I'm blessed enough to do that, to fight early next year, get a Bellator World Championship before entering the season, I'd be down for that. But also, if they wanted to do something else, if they wanted to maybe give me the Bellator title shot and then put me in another pay-per-view next year, I'm also down for that. Like, this is the beauty of PFL acquiring Bellator as well. There's a lot of options for us guys. Whatever they want, whatever way they want to build me, I'm down for, you know.
Okay, listen, you've been very gracious with your time. It's always good to talk to you.